Well, I think that we're live. I don't know. I believe that we're live. Oh man, we're live, and I totally don't have my water next to me. I should have grabbed that. Well, anyway, I don't know what's going on with the live stream event, y'all. The stream key wasn't working, but here we are. We're going live directly in the group. So, welcome to the Nights of Automation for March of 2025. This is the first one of the month, and remember, we do these on the first and on the second and the fourth Thursday of every month at 4 o'clock Pacific. And this week, time zones just changed, and so I'm wondering if maybe that's what happened with this last event. So sorry if anybody got confused, but here we are today. What I want to go ahead and do, well, like anything else, you can always go ahead and hop in the live stream and join the meet. And I don't know why I'm so blurry, so maybe I'll lean in real hard. You can see up my nose. Just kidding. Let's go ahead and talk about a launch strategy, a launch automation that I've used for clients and also for myself as well. So the idea is this, that um, you have a podcast or some series of content, and you've been pro and you've recorded it all ahead of time, and now you just have to go ahead and syndicate and publish the content. So if you're the type that is producing podcast content not ahead of time, or you're doing it like the week of or the day of, this might not work. But if you're going to go ahead and do this stuff ahead of time, this is something that's going to make your life so much easier. So let me go ahead and explain what I've been doing. So every Sunday this quarter, I have released a new episode of a show called Redefining the Customer Journey, where me and my buddy Bobby Prisso talk about CRMs, but we do it from a platform agnostic angle. We don't talk about CRMs in any specific kind of software. We're just talking about the concepts of it because they're ubiquitous. They're all the same, right? So we came up with these 12 episodes and we said, okay, cool. We recorded all 12 of these episodes. We're going to go ahead and publish them once every single Sunday. And now, how do we make sure that we're launching these on time with the rest of everything else that's going on in the business and the world? So I'm going to go ahead and show you the campaign model that I've been using for this. And it's been working pretty well. And then I'll also go ahead and show you what's going on under the hood with this too. And I'm apparently getting a message on Facebook. I wish I could be logged into the Facebook producer and not actual the rest of Facebook. But let's go ahead and pull this up here. So this model is pretty straightforward. All right, let's bring it over in here. So cool. So this model is very simple. For every single episode, we're dropping it uh, at a specific day each time. Don't worry about this opt-out for now. But the general idea is this. Season 1 went out on the 1st of January. This email goes out. And then uh, they automatically flow into this next episode. Came out the next Sunday. So forth and so on, right? And so we're here right now. We got 2 more episodes left for this particular quarter here. Now, why would I do it like this? Why would we go ahead and take this structure and instead of having just one sequence that's got all the stuff in it, why would I do 1 episode per? Well, what I want to see is I want to see who's actually consuming these episodes, right? And so you'll notice there is a link click next to every single one of these that's connected to it. But if you know the way that at least the keep automation works is when somebody clicks on that link, that's a goal, that would in theory pull them out of the sequence. And we don't want that. We're really just doing it for the data. So that's the first reason why every episode is structured like this, where there's a delay, the email sends, and then immediately you just go ahead and float right down into the next one. And then the cool thing about this structure is if this was more of an ongoing thing, or if I had like a landing page promoting redefining the customer journey, I could have people opt in and we could just dump them right into the start of this chain here, and they would just flow through this until they hit whatever the next particular delay is. Okay, and I've got another client that's doing this as well, and that's what they do. They're putting a whole bunch of effort into their podcast here. So that's why we structure it like this. And then at the very end, you'll notice I have a season 2 queue. So at the end of the day when everything is said and done, everybody that was in here is going to flow into the season 2 queue. And then when we do season 2, it's very easy for me to take everybody that's in this particular sequence, and we're going to go ahead and dump them into here. Okay. As far as this opt-out here, so this is a soft opt-out, and you'll notice that it is connected to every single sequence that's here. So unfortunately, it kind of has like a little spaghetti look to it, right? There's not really much to do about that. That's why I kind of just stacked it down here, a little easier to understand. And let's go look at one of these particular emails here. So this link right here is the soft opt-out. Pretty much, I don't want people to leave my list just because they're not interested in getting this every Sunday, because I did not say, hey, I've got this podcast coming out. If you're interested, go ahead and check it out. I just dumped everybody into my list, everybody in my list into there, which is definitely not the best practice. And do as I say, not as I do, I guess. But that was we finished recording the last of the episodes like in the last couple weeks of December. I just wanted to get this thing going, right? And so at the top of every single email, actually, it's easier to look at it if you look at the opt-out link. So at the top of every single episode, there's the little blurb says, hey, if you're not interested, click here. I'll go ahead and pull you out. And the reason I do that is because now we are leveraging that link, click, goal behavior. We are going to pull people out, so that way they're not completely unsubscribing from my list, but they're also not going to get bugged on Sunday. And in fact, this is really cool for engagement too, because I had at least 1 or 2 people, as this was going, they clicked on it on accident. And then they replied and were like, oh man, I didn't mean to opt out. And so, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for paying attention and listening. I'll go ahead and add you back into the queue. So that's the soft opt-out. As far as where this goes, I think I just have a standard placeholder page for it. Yeah, so I just created a general confirmation page on B Pro, and it's a campaign link. So when they click, they're going to go ahead and see this. You got it. Great work. Go to the blog post, right? Not giving them any kind of a dead end here. So if I wanted to, I absolutely could have created a page specifically that says, hey, you're not going to get notifications about this anymore. And as we do more of these seasons, maybe that'll be an enhancement I do next time with season 2 and beyond. So that's the idea of the soft opt-out. And then again, we structured it like this so that way we can see the stats here. So we're going to go ahead and look at the stats. And they might be a little bit embarrassing because, again, I put my whole list in here. Not everybody's super engaged. And so let's see what happens. And I guess we'll just do the last, 7 days. Let's go ahead and see how the last episode did. So, okay, well, so this is interesting. So even in the last week, somebody that got it back then has been clicking to see what's going on. And it looks like only 7 people clicked to episode 10. That's kind of a little bit of a bummer here, but what are the rest of this? Again, you can see click-through rates aren't fantastic because I just dumped my whole list into it. So big lesson here. If I had said, hey, I've got this new series coming in, are you interested in it? And then I gave people a chance to be a part of this, I definitely would have more engagement because now those people are wanting to get that. So that's another benefit there. So this was the one that came out on Sunday, and it's got a good open rate, not necessarily a great click rate. So I need to explore this more with the next season and find out what's going on. Maybe I send some kind of a reminder. Maybe I do that soft launch, or maybe the correct answer, actually, the correct answer is to clean my list and get all those unengaged people off of that list, or at least do some better segmenting here. But this is why I did it in this way, so I can get the data that I need without having people necessarily click and stop. So if we look at the whole release of this is going to be able to tell us which episode is the most popular. And so, interesting, episode number 3 so far has been the most popular. That's definitely gotten the most clicks, followed by the next one of episode 4. So I'd want to go ahead and look at, actually episode 1 is pretty popular too. So now I have this data. Now I can go look back at the stats and see, because these are being hosted on YouTube, hey, what were the topics of those? What are people interested in? And so that's the next thing that I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and show you the under the hood super operations of how we even got this thing out the door, because this structure here is assuming that every single video is ready to go every single week. And like I said, we recorded every single episode before we started going live with this and getting it all scheduled. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what we used to make sure that that actually happened, because this has actually been very valuable, not only for this particular show, but also for my Infusionsoft cookbook videos. I'm slowly syndicating this with me and my team, and we're actually using this mechanism that we did for uh, redefining the customer journey, which here's that. Probably should have had this open before. This is the keep for it. Here's the YouTube details. Yes. Okay, cool. Check this out. So, how do we get all these videos published and ready to go? Okay. And these descriptions are kind of long. So, what we basically did is we have the file and we update all the meta information on the file, which I don't know if you knew this. On an MP4 or any video file, there's actual properties for it, just like with MP3s and stuff like that. And YouTube looks at that information when you upload the video. That also helps with the SEO or the video SEO of it. And so that's why in here we're clearly saying, you know, what's the file name, title, subtitle, all this jazz. It's a long description. Maybe I can make this a little bigger so it's not so crazy. Yeah, we SEO'd the living crap out of this here. But basically, here's the file updated, and then the title, and then the thumbnail, and the playlist for it, and the tags we're using when it was recorded, scheduled, and then finally the link for it, right? And then we turned around and for every single episode, we made a blog post about it. So you can see there is an exceptional amount of planning for this, and I even syndicated these to Meta and to Spotify as well. So, and these were all scheduled ahead of time. So basically, we recorded this, we created this big spreadsheet with all of the metadata that we needed, and then we used that to schedule it on YouTube, and then immediately turn around and schedule a blog post that embeds that YouTube onto it. Again, to kind of help us out with our SEO and things like that. So basically, it's kind of like just like a ticking time bomb where everything is just ready to go in there. And then here's the here's the embed for it, right? So every episode has the video here. It's embedded. It goes. And this was all done. Pretty much all this stuff was done first, so I could get the YouTube link. Then I could go ahead and turn around and basically make a campaign that pushes all of this. And so this little spreadsheet right here, I'd be more than happy to share with you if you're interested, if you're going to do a lot of content syndication. This guided the workflow, and this really helped us plan out, like, do we have everything that we need? You know, do we have the meta information for the video? Do we know, pardon me, everything that YouTube needs? Not just the video, but like the description, the thumbnail, what playlist is it going to be on, and then turning around and being able to put it on our blog, because might as well go ahead and embed it. So that's pretty much how we created Redefining the Customer Journey and then launched it. So we did all of this, and again, you can see we just SEO'd the utter crap out of this to try and drive traffic and get more awareness to it, because for us, this is a long-term play. This information is going to be here for basically ever. So yeah, hopefully this has been interesting. And then let me go ahead and show you what we're doing for the Infusionsoft cookbook. It's basically the exact same thing, just with different content. I was actually working on this morning because there's a lot of content in there. That's, I mean, the book itself is, 400 something pages. It's got 10 chapters in it. So, oh, cool. And my team member Justin is actually working on this right now. But so you can see we did the exact same information effectively. It's a little easier to see this way. So for example, for like the chapter 5 that we're working on, what do we call it? What's the name of the thing? What was the original video file? And then here's the updated file name, along with all the metas, and then has the metadata been up to date. And then same thing, what's the YouTube title, description, playlist, all this kind of stuff. And then as Justin is publishing this, he puts the YouTube link here. So that way I don't have to ask him, has it been published? If I don't see the link there, well, it's obviously not there. And you can see like he's literally in the middle of, he published this video and he's putting the blog post together. So, and then here's the link to the blog post here. Um, and so this, again, this drives the workflow. So every single time it's time to do a video, grab the file, update the file name, update the properties of it, and then once that's good, then you go into YouTube, post it up. We already have all the thumbnails and everything ahead of time. Put the link here, and then turn around and do all the blog stuff. And even in these here, you'll notice that some of the stuff is used a bunch of times. Well, that's because, for SEO and for blogs, we use the Yoast plugin. And so not only do you have the title and the body of it, but you also have the search engine preview, which you have full control over, as well as the social sharing preview, which again you have full control over. And so that's why you'll see, hey, this is not only the post title, it's the SEO title in Yoast, it's the social title, it's the title when it's shared on X. Same thing with the thumbnails, even going so far as defining what is the actual slug being used on these. And then the main description. And what's cool about this, if you'll notice, a lot of these are just formulas pulling information pretty much like from this column here. So again, there's not necessarily a lot of copy and pasting, even though we are reusing a lot of the information. But this is planning. This is like operational. This is how we do the marketing and the creation of any kind of a YouTube series or just series of YouTube videos. So again, hopefully this has been helpful. Maybe you thought it was cool. Again, I've been more than happy to share this spreadsheet with you, or at least you don't need to get all this stuff, but I'll share all the titles and stuff like that, and then go ahead and use it. So yeah, that's it for today. So as far as the Knights of Automation here, as you know, there's a lot that happens under the hood for automation. And I think this is a really good example of how much goes into like what it actually takes to produce content, publish it, promote it, get it out there. And then what people see externally, it doesn't look like a lot, but there's a lot that goes into it. So thanks so much for hanging out, and we'll go ahead and we'll end it here. The blurriness is frustrating me. My dog is always lying in front and kicking the tripod and stuff like that. So I got to just focus every time he does that. And I guess I just haven't done that yet today. So remember, we're going to go ahead and do these masterminds on the second and fourth Thursday of every month at 4 o'clock Pacific. I promise I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the next event is using the correct time zone. And that's basically it for today. So thanks for watching.